No, in my inventory is a deck of many things full.
Mm.
Well,
I don't
hello
know what inventory you're
everyone.
talking about.
Hello everyone, and welcome to this final episode of Rooms and Reptiles, Dungeons and Dragons. Not much more to say there. For those that are still here from the Kingdom Hearts stream just a few minutes ago, we are going to be doing session 0, and we're going to be streaming that right after the epilogue, and then we'll go back to Kingdom Hearts. So just an FYI of what's going on this evening. I will leave it to Dova and Digi now.
Crap! I just started eating a piece of taffy. Give me a minute.
Give him 50 minutes.
That's okay. I mean, Digi can read his own recap.
I suppose I could, if I must.
Just don't tear up. I mean, just remember everybody can hear you. And there are people that will judge you. No pressure.
You know, I don't have to be here. I can leave.
No!
You actual asshole.
We're all sad
know.
about this.
I didn't know a person could be as vile as you, but here we are. It's...
Anyways, I'm done with my taffy, so I can actually read this thing now. Last time on Rooms and Reptiles, we won and we lost. There were aspects of Agni split up and fighting us with everything they had. We returned fire with everything we had. My nose is plugged. I'm sorry. Somehow we scraped by, only to get a tour of his facilities and what he did with the people he captured. I still don't recall much, but it seemed uncomfortably familiar. Death does seem like a mercy compared to it. We were facing Agni with all of his power intact, and we retired from our battle. It was not looking good. With a single spell, he knocked away what stamina I had left and hit most of the group. Then Rok-Rok woke me up, and I got to see him take out that knife he'd gotten a long time ago. A knife of mutual destruction. Agni didn't think much of it, and let him stab him. Arrogance is the end of all tyrants. They both died, despite our best efforts to save him. Tuner lets you down when it matters. Let's see where our lives take us from here. Alright. So, after the defeat of Agni, you all went in, picked up the pieces, and the settlement, the kobold settlement, became an impromptu base for all the people who had been interred in Agni's care. Basically serving as a hospital for those who have been injured, and a place for last rites for those who did not make it out. With the destruction and looting of the laboratory, a gigantic amount of wealth and artifacts was removed, in the tune to combining all the wealth from the items as well as the gold gems. Amounted to about 2 million gold. A very proud hoard for any dragon. It was sequestered away in your basically treasure pile room. And for a small amount of time, life kind of dragged on. That pressure that you've been feeling for the past month or so is just faded away. You can really focus on the settlement as it was. In the mansion's hospital, the infirmary, a number of the more injured people were held there, and in total, people taken from Agni, from his custody, numbered in about the 200s. And among them was Ayestal. And she had gotten it pretty bad. One of her eyes was missing. One of her limbs as well. Her arm. Can't tell whether it was amputated or just torn off. But she took quite a long time to recover. And something is going to happen on that first night. Cobalt.
Yes.
As you were kind of roaming around, you kind of poke your head into the infirmary just to check how everything's going, and you see Ayestal. Well, both of them. You see the Golem one kind of standing, overlooking the biological Ayestal, who is at this point unconscious. And Ayestal
She-
kind of, she doesn't look like she noticed that you've arrived.
She whispers, "There could only be one."
I don't know. Could you give me a perception check?
I'm just kidding, but I guess it's not time to be funny right now. I hear nothing, as usual.
Kobolds do as they wish.
Well, you don't really notice that you don't hear anything out of the ordinary. But you can see that she's kind of just standing there, shoulders hunched slightly.
Was I able to repair
this.
her with mending after the fight?
Yes.
It took a
and
while.
At this point, she's not fully repaired. But you got her up and about. You have to spend at least about a week or so just repairing everything. But she
She's
can walk
functional.
around. Yes, she can lift light things. But yeah, she's somewhat repaired.
I'm gonna quietly walk in and hold her hand.
You kind of worm your hand into hers, and you can kind of feel there's a very forceful pressure as she kind of squeezes down onto your hand. There's a definite tremble within her grasp. She kind of continues to stare at Ayestal and just quietly says, I've put plenty of time into thinking what I would do given this chance, but now that I have this chance, I don't know. I've always just felt that she's the one who's been dragging me down, but holding me back with this memory of who she was, constraining me to follow her path, make her mistakes. I don't know what to do.
I don't say anything, but I just tighten my grip a little bit. Just make her know that I'm there.
Kind of just standing there for a little while, you eventually see out of the corner of your eye, held in her opposite hand, so on the other side of her body, you see the tip of a dagger kind of trembling as she's obviously squeezing onto it fairly hard.
I figured.
Well, the question to ask, is this how you would want to go down?
Well, I think a bigger question is, like, the flesh eye stole is missing an eye and an arm, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, would she be okay? Does she seem stabilized, or is she like in a coma?
She seems stabilized. You know that she's fairly robust, so you have no doubt that she'll eventually wake up.
Hmm. I'm gonna say, you know, sometimes the best ways to find answers is by talking to yourself.
She's kind of silent for a moment before eventually letting out a super light chuckle. That was a pretty bad joke.
I'll let you know when I can think of a good one.
She lets out another little chuckle. As you guys stand there for a while, she slowly relaxes her grip, almost dejectedly. Whatever sort of motivation she had to presumably kill Ayastal slowly dissipates, and after about 10 minutes, she kind of reaches over, places the dagger on the table at the bedside, and you can see as she places it down that there's actually an imprint where her hand had squeezed so hard that the wooden hand grip was deformed and cracked and splintered to sort of conform to her hand.
I'm not gonna tug her arm, but I'm gonna kind of guide her toward the door.
She follows.
As we start walking away, I'm gonna use Mage Hand behind me and put the dagger in the drawer that it's on. It's on a table. I'm gonna put it in the drawer.
Okay.
And close it.
All right. So, after that, you guys continue with your work of administrating all these people who have been misplaced, and start sending out various messages to the groups that they were from, using your magical mailbox to send letters all across Faerun. And you start getting responses back saying that the ships will be sent. Um, People who can afford airships from sort of very large kingdoms will also have those arrive eventually. So the attention starts to turn towards keeping these people alive until that comes, which is about a month, maybe 2 months away. But with the amount of kobolds you have and the amount of food production you have, it's not really going to be that big of an issue. Maybe some lighter, maybe some light rationing, but you guys can pull through. About a week and a half after the battle, Sora comes to you in a dream, Sully.
Oh.
And it's very similar to the first time that you met her. You kind of both are. She's kind of sitting cross-legged, just on a cliffside with her back facing over the cliff, and you're a few feet sort of inland. She's kind of sitting cross-legged, and she looks a lot more haggard than usual. She has heavy bags under her eyes. She looks gaunt. Hair is disheveled and greasy. She kind of motions to a small, almost looks like a chalice, just in front of her, laying on the ground, and you can see that there is a shimmering red liquid inside. She says, "This is all that I could recover. It is not him. It will never be him. However, it is his essence, like an imprint. And you look behind her and you notice that the landscape, so the horizon has receded since you were last here. You can actually see the horizon is only a few miles away from on top of this vista, indicating that maybe this world is much, much smaller than it was before.
I'm surprised, honestly.
When you have someone like... Go ahead.
I wasn't aware that larger deities or beings saw us as more than tools, but I suppose he always was special, even if you feigned indifference.
He offered a unique perspective that I did not always consider. I am bringing this to you, for I know that you are with child. This is an option to have part of him exist in your world. Otherwise, you may keep his remnants here, or just cast them into the wind to see where they go.
I wouldn't mind keeping more of him with me. But, you recall, you have a pact with me as well. You are going to be alongside me. And I do have one question. Do I drink this and then he is within me?
Yes.
Very well. You have done what I could not alone. And for that, I'm thankful. And Sully will then take the goblet and down it.
Alright. You feel an acidic, almost ammonia-like taste as you down the glass. It almost feels like you're swallowing sand, and as it kind of slowly goes down your throat, you feel that acidity kind of fade into a dull warmth, and then kind of disappear entirely. And as she kind of looks up at you from her seated position, she kind of nods, and as soon as the dream arrived, dissipates. A few days afterwards, you lay an egg.
Yes.
Oh my god.
What, you think we didn't?
No, I just think it's funny.
Yes.
So, after a few, I think we incubate for about a month. I'm not sure. Month, maybe 2 months.
I'll check Volo's guide, but continue.
Your egg is not the first egg to hatch. There's actually been two more
Yes.
egg layings, leaving it to the total of 3 before you lay your egg. Yours does hatch third, though, so you won't be the first to have a child within the colony, but you are one of the first. What do you name him?
You know, this is something I've been thinking for a while now. I'm gonna call him Fang.
Fang. Nice. All right.
I think Rok-Rok would have preferred Fang Fang.
Either
So-
way, Rok-Rok. I'm sorry.
Rok-Rok
Fang.
loves his teeth.
Fang.
Mm-hmm.
You are not Rok-Rok. However, you have a lot of the same qualities. You have the same coloration, and you have that sort of brashness that Rok-Rok did.
What a nice way to put it.
A very, very kind, correct way to say it.
It's a good way to put it.
So, it says here, a female can lay up to 6 eggs per year, and an egg matures in about 2 or 3 months.
There you go. I got it.
And they'd reach adulthood at 6 years.
Dova, I did want to point out that Eric's during this time would be getting a airship dock tower thing set up or built, as well
Okay.
as, ocean ship docks.
Sure. That would
Uh.
be definitely possible for the amount of people that you have here now. And you can kind of bring everyone together, everyone who's able-bodied to get all these construction projects done. Pretty much no issues.
I want a wizard tower.
We'll work on that after the necessities.
I want a wizard tower.
He's stomping his feet. Wizard Tower!
We'll do that after the necessities.
Oh, crosses his arms.
Threatens to not breathe until he gets his wizard tower. I was gonna go check. Oh. So. Among the dead is, unfortunately, Shuluth. It seems that due to his mind flayer nature, he was chosen to be biopsied. So there's really no chance of saving him.
Wasn't he a lich?
As far as you know,
Turns out his phylactery was his heart.
Oh,
He made very poor decisions.
I mean, who would have guessed?
Hey Dova, I'm gonna make statues of all the people who died in this event.
Okay.
We'll put it in a
Uh,
graveyard that we'll eventually need. No one likes to talk about it, but Cobalt knows that we need it.
All right.
I guess
You-
cemetery is a better word for it. It sounds less morgue.
What
Eric's-
a mausoleum.
Mausoleum, perfect. That one sounds honorable and deadly.
Yeah.
And deathly.
You can set it into the side of the mountain that you're next to.
Yes.
Put it next to the treasure hoard, even.
Yes.
The first one or the second one?
We have 2 now? Did I miss
No,
that?
you have one. It's directly under the camp.
Mm.
We would build a new one. I think it should be separate.
A new, better one. for all the treasure that you got?
Well, no, the treasure, that one's pretty good as is. I mean, we put lots of work in that.
Yeah, that's true.
That one's good. I'm meaning the crypt, mausoleum, whatever we call it. We would dig it into the side of the mountain, and Eric's will be using his stone-shaped magics and such to make statues of both Shuluth and Rok-Rok, one on either side of the entrance.
And Cobalt is going to make the fine details because he's gotten pretty good at stone shaping at this point. Stonework.
You definitely would be very competent at it.
Did we lose anyone else that we know of?
There were plenty that you don't know who they were. You didn't lose any.
Jeremy
is not among them at all.
God damn it!
Damn it!
Not even among the live, so he probably just skipped out.
Damn it, Jeremy.
What time to initiate bounty hunter mode?
I want to spend the rest of my life hunting Jeremy.
Oh, hey Dova.
Yeah?
Probably take like a month.
I know we have the treasure hoard, but I personally want to add a room, like aside it, for like a gallery.
An art
where we
gallery?
not art gallery, but more where we can display like our magic items. Like we'll have mannequins for pieces of armor and stuff like that.
Oh, okay. Artifact gallery.
Yeah, basically. And before I forget, in the mausoleum, we're gonna have a really big statue of Rok-Rok in the middle.
All right. What sort of pose is he going to be in?
I was actually thinking the pose that he's in our picture, the group picture.
Ooh, that's pretty good. Sort of holding an axe and just
Being fierce.
snarling in preparation for an attack.
Yep. That's
Very
how we remember him best.
With two like glowing rubies in the eyes.
Yes, perfect.
All right.
And what's that red? Isn't there a red metal? Am I thinking of corundum?
I believe so.
Yes.
Yeah,
Made
I'll be using that. Not made of it, but I'll be using it for the red details.
Okay.
And then stone for everything else.
All right. This whole construction project will last about
Be right
2
back.
months, maybe 3.
Okay.
At the
It'd be a
end
lot
of
faster
which-
without it'd be a lot slower without stone shape.
Oh yeah, a lot slow. But yes, your mausoleum is now complete. And at about this point, the various controlling parties would kind of their caravans and fleets would make it here, stop to pick up their citizens, strike up a few trade deals with you, and then head back home.
Eric's needs an even bigger hat now that he rules a micronation.
It's true. You do need a bigger hat, Eric's.
Yes, I definitely agree with that.
This is, in fact, a factual statement.
All right.
All right.
Is there anything else we're doing immediately, Dova? That needs to be taken care of.
Immediately, not necessarily. That was
How did when Flash Iced also all better? How did that go?
the meeting between the two was tense, to say the least. Um, there was so Ayastal had kind of slowly recovered, but one day you didn't expect her to be up. All of a sudden, she is just up, and you find this out as she is walking down from the airship. Um, she had found a cloak and already draped it over her, kind of kind of shielding the stump of an arm from view.
I'm already working on a prosthetic. Don't worry.
She's
Hey, where are you
also
going?
found. She's also grabbed a cane from. You're not sure, but she has a cane now, and kind of draped in her old and some patient's clothes. She kind of makes her way out. And at that point, Ayastal was talking with Gestalt, kind of near the main bonfire, and there's a moment where the two kind of lock eyes. They both kind of slowly make their way just in front of the ramp. Ayastal, the biological Ayastal, much slower as she kind of hobbles along on the cane.
Oh my god! Now she has an eye patch like a pirate.
As she makes it to the bottom, they're kind of an arm's length from each other, just kind of staring at each other. The biological original Ayastal sort of lets the cane lean up against her, reaches into her cloak, and grabs that deformed dagger that had been left in her nightstand. She grabs it kind of by the middle of the blade, reaches out, and drops it on the ground. She kind of reaches over to steady herself on her cane. There's a moment of silence for about 2 seconds before she kind of throws it to the ground and immediately goes for a right hook. And at that same time, Gollum Ayastal is doing just about the same thing.
Well, biological Ayastal certainly can't go for a left hook now, can she?
Very good right hook. That's what losing one does to you. And with a very surprising amount of sort of vigor, considering the fact that she was basically bedsick for about a month and a half. The two go at it, like crashing through tents. At one point, Gollum Ayastal gets thrown over the wall. And then kind of jumps back over the wall, and they just keep going at it until eventually. Do any of you guys try to break this up?
I'm not sure who's there, but I mean,
If
I guess
Eric
I could.
is there, he would. I would assume that it would have started, and then Eric gets notified and comes over and kind of is standing back, but is like, guys, ladies, maybe
hey,
no.
Dova.
Yeah.
At one point, I'm gonna use my power to switch places with original Ayastal.
Are you sure?
Yes.
All right. You do so, and without much thought, and without actually looking, Ayastal is kind of in the middle of doing like a roundhouse kick, so she can't even see where she's about to hit. What's your AC?
16. But I can shield, make it 21.
Ooh. What kind of plus would she get? What does a golem get?
If she hits me, Dova, I want her to kick me into the distance in a beautiful arc.
All right.
If she hits.
What does it get? It gets a plus 10 to hit. That's 26 to hit.
Oh, well, great. She does it.
as you are flung over the wall, in just about the same exact arc that she got thrown over, except much flatter, much more energy in it.
Your planar
You're kind of
magics.
looking at what happened. They look at you going over the wall and kind of back to each other. They just kind of shrug and just immediately go right back at it. At one point, their kind of romp, you can actually feel through the ground the sort of power of the hits they're putting into each other. My goodness, my nose is just. And I have no
At
idea.
one point, I arcane gate back through a portal. I'm just kind of like doing that thing where I move my jaw back and forth.
You do feel pretty sore from that. That was a pretty solid hit. After about a minute later, biological Eyestall is knocked to the ground and kind of just lays there, arm above her head, eyes closed, just breathing heavily. Golem Eyestall is gonna kind of sway on her feet upright, just kind of staring at her. Before, as she realizes that she's not getting back up, she kind of just drops back, sitting down, kind of hunched over. Not actually breathing, but her chest kind of heaves all the same.
I'm gonna look to Eric's and say, "You like hold up my hands. They're glowing with the mending spell, and say, I get Eyestall, you get Eyestall."
What? Which? Who?
Furrows his brow. The only one you can heal.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I'm gonna cast mending on the golem.
All right.
Well, I'm guessing cure wounds.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. By the way, Dova, could you give us a long rest?
Oh yeah.
At least I assume we've had a long rest.
Yeah, you guys. You guys are definitely long rested.
Does she say anything while I'm mending all the little chips and stuff? Chips and cracks?
No, she's just staring at the biological ISL.
I didn't think so. My mage hand is gonna take notes, Dova.
Of
on golems and personalities.
All right.
Behind my back, so no one can see it.
Very well. Yeah. Handsome painting jobs. I know I had a name in here. Oh well. As the two kind of stabilize and get their breathing under control, original Ayastal sits up. The Golem Ayastal kind of finally says, "New and improved. Beats original, I guess." She stands up and walks away.
I guess I'll follow her.
All right. She's going to basically continue her business that she was doing for being interrupted, which was going back over to Gestalt, who is a little bit taken aback that she's basically went into a full-on like Superman versus Batman brawl.
Except good.
And then just coming away from it kind of smiling.
Martha!
And as you look back, you
Who
actually
the hell
see,
is Martha? I don't know. It was worth a shot.
and as you look back, you actually see that original Iastall is also kind of faintly smiling.
Uh, as I'm finishing the last bit of mending, I'm gonna say, hey, maybe you two can be friends at some point. I'm pretty sure you have a lot in common. And he's gonna give her a wink.
I don't remember if I talked to you about this. I want to be separate from her, and I know that built me, and you with the knowledge that you have, with the powers that you have, can you make everything clean for me? Give me something blank.
I could try. Oh, hey Dova.
Yeah.
Did we get a level from fighting that boss?
Over these months, you probably would have gotten to like 2 levels.
Sweet, that's perfect. Dova, I'm gonna take the modified memory spell.
Excellent.
As she says that, he's gonna rub his hands together and say, "I might have something a little specific for that."
For actually getting the spell, we can say that you spent a little time in what's the name of the place? It's the place that's always under new management.
I think last time we checked, it was called Where are my notes? Last time it was called House of Wonders in Hollera, and Mortalkin.
An earnest
House of Wonders is in Baldur's Gate.
No, this is a new one. The one that's remember it was called something else, and then it was taken over and then called House of Wonders again. What's it called now, Dova?
Right now it is called Miss Nebuchadnezzar's House of Wonders. So it actually did maintain the name. Thankfully. You've been tired of changing all your stationery.
I take out the piece of paper and start erasing one of the teleportation circle names. Rewrite a new one.
But yes, you have not save that. Okay. Modified memory.
And if you want, we can say it has if it's not.
Yeah. You can also, since she is willing, you can also go much further than the limitations.
Okay, cool. Let's just say it does what we intend it to do.
Yes. And I'm assuming this because this is a pretty big event. And actually, Gollum Iastall would invite you all to attend it.
What about original Iastall?
After being suggested that option, she takes a while to think about it. She doesn't initially invite them, but a few hours before the ritual, she does actually go out and invite Iastall.
And she and I probably went over exactly what she wants me to remove and keep.
Yeah. Basically, she wants to remove everything that wasn't directly related to her being a golem. So, and then also sort of any references to her being Iastall. So,
Will I be able to keep her personality intact, or will that change along with her memories?
It'll probably change. That's
All right, but I'm
in
gonna
all
keep
likelihood. In all
I'm gonna keep
likelihood,
everything about us.
that's exactly what she asked for, actually. All right. And as you
One quick moment after, like, as everyone's gathering before we actually started, I'm gonna go over to original ISL and ask her real quick. Hey, what gemstone do you want your artificial eye made out of?
she kind of looks over to you.
And I've got a piece of paper and a pen in my hand.
She's kind of quiet, thinking for a few moments before she says, "I think a sapphire would be really cool."
Ah, that's just what I was thinking.
Really? Wow. All right.
And how do you feel about gun arms?
That sounds really cool. It really does. I'm gonna be honest.
All right, cool. I've been waiting to use this gunpowder for something.
All right. So, and you guys are doing this inside of the mansion, inside Cobalt's ritual room.
Oh. Additionally, does she want me to change anything physical about the golem part, or stay dragonborn? Because I can do that too.
She said she wanted to stay physically the same.
Okay, cool. Because you
She
look
said
awesome.
that would be okay. All right, so with the crackling of arcane energy, a bolt of this kind of purplish energy kind of arcs down from your open palm just above her forehead, and her eyes just kind of roll to the back of their sockets, and she kind of subtly twitches and shudders with every memory that's erased. And finally, after at least 3 minutes of just this solid arcane discharge, Cobalt, that would be like at least 2 or 3 spell slots worth. But I wouldn't worry about tracking it.
Yeah, okay. I figured.
You eventually finish, and you all kind of watch as Ayastal's eyes slowly recenter, and she blinks a few times, kind of bringing up a hand to her head and rubbing it, kind of looking at the hand, looking around, looking at all of you, and you can tell that there's a very you can tell that she recognizes you, but it slowly kind of comes back to her as everything is reshuffled, reorganized by her brain.
Cobalt gets down from the large stepladder he had to have been standing on, and looks up at her excitedly.
She looks down at you, clearly recognizing you, but she slowly kind of says, Who am I?
Yeah, I'm gonna take my bag off my back and start rifling through it and say, "That's something for you to decide." I'm gonna take out a cage and it has Rok in it.
She looks at the mouse and kind of reaches over, clearly recognizing exactly who it is. Kind of grabs the cage from you, holding it in her hand, and she slowly kind of unlatches the front, and Rok kind of settles into her palm. She says, I remember wanting to forget I suppose that's exactly what happened because I can't remember what I wanted to forget. Was it something bad?
You were just feeling a little conflicted over who you wanted to be, so you decided to forget the half that you were conflicting over.
Oh. The person who I was it a bad person?
I think they're a pretty great person, but obviously they wasn't exactly who you wanted to be. But now you can be whoever you want to be.
Oh. I think I'll need a little while to decide all that. She kind of slowly gets up. And, yeah. After a little while of talking to each of you, just making sure that she has everything remembered right,
Yep.
she kind of heads out and...
I'll walk her to her like room cave. I think she had.
Yeah.
Yeah, that.
How do you get in?
Dimension Doris, of course.
Oh.
Was that
Actually,
even a question, Dova?
And she does actually after a few minutes after you go, and she remembers that she's actually able to stuff with that eye of hers. All right. So, is there any loose ends that anyone wishes to tie up very, very urgently?
Well,
Hey, there was something I was kind of curious about. I wanted to see if I could. Oh, another one of the spells I wanted to take was plane shift.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right. Well, where do you want to go?
I wanted to see if I could communicate with the whatever being is controlling our mansion.
oh yeah, the one that gave me and Raku gifts
Yeah.
when we went through the door by force.
While we're doing this, can someone scry on Jeremy so we can go kick his ass?
It's not his fault our match is decaying. He just never told us it would decay.
I don't care.
I mean, that is far from the only reason we want to kick his ass.
Also, I really want to kick that red dragon's ass.
I thought it was the green one.
I thought it was a black
green?
one.
It was a blue
No,
dragon.
It was a red dragon. It was a red dragon.
I distinctly remember it being a blue dragon.
Well, there we go.
The recordings are on YouTube.
Well, no matter what, it's gonna be a blue dragon if you go there.
I just want to make sure this whatever being this is okay, and like thank it for letting us live there. I guess.
It's very nice.
So kind of you use the plane shifting spell to actually just
Be in the ethereal plane, or whatever.
or just going outside the walls of the mansion. Get
Also,
back
we
in the
never
line
found
side
that
of that.
armor again.
Which
You mean
armor?
Agni?
Yeah, that
No.
was him.
No, the one that released steam when we beat it up.
Oh yeah, the armor that would never let us would never leave us
Oh
alone.
yeah. The
Yeah,
Jason
except
Voorhees
then
armor.
I guess we just outran it, and it gave up, maybe? Until it found another door and came through our mansion.
I'm pretty sure that it's probably still in Faerun. Because I'm pretty sure Cobalt banished it from our mansion, which means it would most likely go back to Faerun. And from there, it's probably been walking along this ocean bottom all this time, making its way to our little settlement.
To be totally honest, when you banish something from a plane it doesn't originally belong in, it'll go back to its own plane of existence, but it doesn't specify where.
Mm-hmm.
So it could be anywhere, honestly.
It could be in a volcano, and we'll never see it again.
Hey, Dova, you're really quiet
Yeah.
all of a sudden.
Really?
Is anyone else getting that?
A little bit.
My microphone moved a little bit out of the way of my mouth, but
Okay.
I moved it closer. Is
It's
that okay?
better now. Yeah.
Okay. Hanging out in the sort of in the mansion's own plane. You see that and this is through a lot of sort of research, a lot of experimentation on your part.
Mm-hmm.
You see that it's less like an animal and more like a plant, maybe a fungus. You kind of ascertain that these magical effects were probably the result of the magic used to fuel it. As it doesn't really have a will of its own, only using the magic around it to power whatever it was designed to do.
Oh, is it dying, or is it just out of food?
It is actually. It looks to be almost withering. It's dried up, and it looks like there's just barely any remnant of life left in it.
I want to thank it anyway, even if it can't really understand me too well.
I mean, you could feed it.
What does he eat?
Magic, apparently.
Yeah, it seems to be pure magical force.
Dove, I'm going to give it a 5th level spell.
You can see a little bit of life kind of pump through its, not really veins, capillaries. Basically, with the amount of energy that you put in, sustains it for 2 days. That's what you're getting.
So it'd take a lot of magic to keep it going forever.
Yes. But you do have access to a lot of arcane energy, a lot of arcane artifacts.
Hey, you just saved the mansion.
I was also thinking it might just be better to let it go, because we have our own nation now.
Well, yes, but
We
free
can build.
Come on, guys, we're gonna save the mansion. The gang kills the mansion.
We don't need free food when we have agriculture.
Yes, but also we can have these servants train our kobolds in anything we want.
Hey, Dova,
Yeah?
can I make something like this mansion?
I
am well
given
versed
enough-
in extra-dimensional magic.
Given it enough time, I probably could actually.
What if you?
Demiplane is another spell I wanted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could you try to like transplant this thing by like the volcano with so much energy next to it?
I don't know if the volcano has the magic energy that it used to anymore.
Cobalt.
Yes.
This was based on the Mordenkainen's Magnificent Mansion spell, and that's only level 7.
Yeah, but Demiplane would probably work better. I mean, I could get Mordenkainen's Magnificent Mansion as well.
Well, I'm just saying that you can literally make a mansion like this.
Yeah. But I think this one is permanent. I think Mordenkainen's Magnificent Mansion is temporary.
Correct. Mordenkainen's Magnificent Mansion is once per day.
But even so, I could potentially make a permanent one with enough with the magic artifacts we have.
Yeah, you could. Oh yeah, you could probably make it demiplane.
Well.
Yeah, I love the Demiplane spell.
So you're letting it go then?
Yeah, I'm gonna let everyone know and like say, hey, we should probably take our stuff out of here. We don't know what happens if this extra dimensional plane legitimately collapses.
Mm.
How long does a dimension door open? Like, how long does it stay open for?
Dimension door?
It's instantaneous. It's not an actual door.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's probably like gate, huh?
Yeah,
Yeah,
kinda.
arcane, yeah.
Because Raku just wanted to have someone. Oh, actually, I know what he's gonna do. Raku's gonna go into the blueprints one last time and make another door going outside in his room, so we can just open the door and check everything out.
All right, that'll work.
I think that's the one thing we never thought about was adding another exit.
No, but it seems to work just fine.
We could do it with everyone's room.
However, at this point, it does seem to be a 50-50 chance of where you're ending up when you do go back in.
That makes sense. One entrance, multiple exits.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. I can't remember. No, I don't think he did. Oh, no, we have the underground area. Never mind, that's fine. Alright, yeah, so Raku's gonna do that, herd everyone out of the mansion, and then go back in.
All
Hey,
right. Yeah.
Did I ever? So, do we not have access to the hidden city anymore?
You probably still do.
Wait, I can just plane shift there.
Yeah. And actually, it seems that you have the ability to rebuild it, to sort of reinstate the magics that was keeping it not really aloft, but existing.
I mean, what I wanted to do was read through some of Shulu's books on dimensional magics.
Okay.
Because I was thinking, because demiplane, every time you cast demiplane, you have the ability to either create a new plane or connect to the old one you created. And I was thinking I could start making some keys that do that, just like he did.
All right.
Yeah, Zim, is that icon good?
I'd say you definitely be able to start doing.
No, use the right one.
Right.
What is
Use the old one.
create a shadow door? Careful, you're gonna run into the thing where you can't change your icons so fastly, so quickly.
Oh, is that a thing? I didn't know.
Yep.
Alright, we're
Keeps you
good.
from spamming it.
All right, cool. Was there anything else anyone wants to do in an accelerated time skip kind of form?
Raku, I know you were doing something other than checking everything out.
You mean training with Charla?
Okay.
Trying to
You and
solidify that.
Charla.
Yeah.
You and Charla become very intertwined. It's almost like Charla becomes another part of you, and in the same manner, you become a little bit more like Charla, until at the very end, you guys are almost the same person.
Oh my goodness, he's a lady.
Not in that
Howdy,
way,
y'all.
but-
How y'all doing?
Howdy, yeah.
Alright, that was my bit.
Oh,
All right.
Oh, hey,
Eric's,
Dova.
do you have any large goals?
Eric's time will be mostly focused on building up the settlement, moving from
I think you
tents
mean-
to actual. What?
I think you mean actual nation now, not just settlement, because we're starting to get there.
Well, most
and
of the
after-
people left, didn't they?
Yeah. A lot of the people left, but those who couldn't get out have decided to stay here. Kind of.
That is
So
fine.
you're over. So your numbers swell to About 200. A lot of
Plus-
kobolds are being born. The people actually emigrating here from other settlements on Schult.
We've also got official trade routes now too.
I did. Sorry.
You are a place for people to come if they do have a sort of magical artifacts that they want to trade. You have a very steady stock. In addition, you have quite a lot of money, so you do see a lot of traffic from people trying to swindle you.
That's what I'm there for.
And Raku is
I kick their ass.
burst enough to know a scam when he sees one.
He's our what's the term?
I'm the
Bullshit
sheriff of
detector.
Patties.
So it's something of treasury. It's not secretary, but like
Treasurer?
treasure. I guess that works. I meant like he's more in charge of trade, international trade.
He's he's security.
Sure, trade security. How about that?
I was actually thinking of asking original Iastall to possibly consider putting behind her ways of piracy and
But she's
going
got
as
an
a
eye patch now.
going as a legit
She's a better pirate
trader.
than she ever was.
Maintaining our trade routes, and I was thinking we could commission her a new airship. Because this one that we have, while it still works, it's been through a lot.
Yes.
I think commission a new one. Because she was a pirate, I would definitely ask for some sort of, like a beacon that in case she does try and run with it, I could just push a button and it comes right back to me. But I obviously won't tell her that I'm going to put that in.
All right.
I assume we've got more than enough gold to cover it.
Oh my God, Dova.
What?
Travanji's instant summons on the boat.
That
Yeah.
works.
Where's
It's
she,
a
where's
little
she
bit big.
Where's she going? Crush the sapphire. There's a boat. There we go.
You're crushed by the airship.
A fitting end for a glorious leader, crushed under wood, just as he always hoped.
No, it would come to about, I would say, it would fly its way back to about 100 feet above wherever I use the beacon.
All right.
But of course, before I go commissioning this, I would ask her if she'd be interested in such a position.
Go ahead and give me an insight check.
Come on, don't fail me now. Oh, God!
It failed you now.
Yeah, I think.
I think I would have
You
brought
used-
Raku with me.
You use a basically a minuscule fraction of the amount of gold that you have right now, and use it to commission another airship from the House of Blades in Newbury. That's in Halruach.
Halara.
And you have a second airship, much better designed than the first. It's slightly smaller, however, it's much more It's much faster and more hardy. It also has a good bit more armaments on it. It has a couple more cannons and just one giant cannon mounted spinally.
I would, of course, also make sure that the beacon, disables the armaments.
Okay.
Or the
like a big
armaments
ma-
might only automatically fire for if the ship is attacked.
Mm-hmm.
But otherwise, so she can't. The ship doesn't arrive and she just starts unloading. security measures like that.
Well, I mean, she can't fire every cannon by herself.
No,
You
but
say
she
that.
could hire a crew that would man all of the cannons for her. We'll have the cannons just be automatic or automated, and they fire when the ship is in danger instead of to attack. We'll say that.
Okay. All right. You use another large sum of gold, which admittedly isn't still not very much total.
I'm gonna get all the bells and whistles on this thing.
All right.
And some actual bells and whistles. They ring to us when she comes by. Oh, she's back.
It's like a bell collar on a cat.
Mm-hmm.
All right, yeah. So Raku's short-term goal: kick Jeremy's ass. Long-term goal: kick that dragon's ass.
All right.
I mean, it should be easy to scry on him because he gave us items, so we have something he touched.
You do. You actually. So who actually is gonna be scrying on him?
I could probably do it. We're kobolds. It is a spell I could take with my further bard levels, I believe.
Sorry, I took another piece of taffy. This is a big mistake.
Ah.
It just
But
keeps
I would-
happening. I'm sorry.
I mean, between raising this child and writing this book I've been wanting to write, I would absolutely be down for fighting that dragon.
I'd rather avoid a big combat. As cool as it would be, if we're gonna do session 0 for the next campaign tonight.
I'll
I mean,
tell you
our
right now,
levels, can't we just wreck it?
I'm telling you
Yeah.
right now, you could probably just kick his ass.
Yeah, let's just say we
Bring our
we-
new
we-
airship
we
in.
ruin it.
Yeah, and you basically just take his lunch money.
X
And
gonna
it's
give it to
kobolds.
you.
You fucking bully the dragon.
The kobolds bully the dragon and take his
He
kobold.
doesn't even remember who you are.
Who are you?
All of a sudden, he's just fucking mugged.
I mean, he was trying to conscript us, sitting there with his nice orb of destroyed Baldur's Gate. So they're like, "What's up, nerd? I'm gonna rip out one of his. I'm gonna rip out one of his teeth in honor of Rok-Rok, and I'm gonna take that damn orb from him."
All right, you now have an orb of scrying.
Okay, that's how that works.
Yeah, that was just a seeing. That's just a seeing orb. That's not like a miniature like snow globe or anything.
Well,
It
I
just
mean, like-
occurred.
If we're at that point, I would also like to use True Polymorph to turn into a dragon and beat up the dragon.
Are you gonna raise your son first?
I'd imagine this is in the far future.
Yeah, that's in the far,
Then
like
yes.
10 years.
I would
Okay.
also like to mention that every birthday, he gets another tooth. But I mean, like, for year 1, he gets a tooth. Probably an exotic one. For year 2, he gets a pair of fangs. For year 3, he gets 3 teeth.
Wait, so you're turning into a dragon permanently?
No, it's True Polymorph. Until I let the spell go, I am a dragon.
Oh, unless you
Yeah.
decide not to let the spell go, in which case it's permanent.
I mean, being a dragon is fun.
It just
So then you
occurred
just
to me.
cast it and become.
We've gone full circle.
Oh,
We
yeah?
started off the campaign with getting blasted the hell out of us by an airship. Now we're the
Now
ones
we-
blasting the hell out of someone with an airship.
There you go.
Ah, I need another piece of glass.
Um.
Here we
So-
go. It's gonna be like this. Hold up. Jeremy,
So,
come out
Sully,
to play.
so Sully, you'd be. Oh wait, you have an orb of scrying. You could just. Okay, so using the
Mhm.
orb, like as you're on the airship, leaving the smoldering cave of the dragon, you look into it, and you can see Jeremy, working on something at his desk. Then as you kind of bring the sensor closer to him, he kind of stops. He turns around. He looks directly at you. He just goes, "Oh
Spikes the
shit!"
lens.
Oh shit. He knows. Oh, he knows.
He starts rifling through drawers, tearing apart this little workshop that you can see, and eventually he does find a wand. He grabs it and counterspells your sensor. However,
Uh,
that you can just recast it.
Do we have like the coordinates already to Dimension Door over there?
The dimension
Dimension
door,
door
no.
is not very
But
far.
you,
However, how about if I just fly you there because I'm a dragon and scare the piss out of him?
he is on a different plane.
Aw.
However, you have someone who can just bring you there.
Yeah, I was about to
Yes.
say that doesn't stop us anymore. Hey
Yeah.
Dova,
Hey,
Yeah.
Kobo.
Yeah.
can one of those artifacts that we got from him be an amulet of the plains?
Sure.
I don't see why not.
It just lets me cast plane shift with a small percentage to error. But I'm gonna be casting plane shift whenever I need to go somewhere, and using the plane shift, using the amulet whenever I want to go somewhere crazy and fun.
Okay.
So yeah, plane shift them there.
All right. So, you guys go to Jeremy's private demiplane and bully him too.
You gave us that
Basically-
decaying mansion.
You beat the crap out of him, you take some of his lunch money, and then you go back. You're
Hey,
becoming
Nova.
the evils as a
Nova.
adventuring party starts off in a tavern somewhere.
Shut up.
Hearing of a group of sky pirates which basically go around and just collapse local economies.
Hey
We
Dova,
beat up a dragon and a shopkeeper. Fine.
In his own plane. How did they hear of that?
We beat up an evil dragon. We're not evil.
we saved the world from we saved the
But
world from
wherever you
apocalypse.
stop, you spend enough money to just completely collapse the local economy.
Hey Dova,
It's just what happens. Yeah.
we saved the world from 2 different apocalyptic scenarios. I think we're pretty great.
Also, come on. We're evil because we're too rich? Are you kidding me?
Yes.
I would
We
not
spent
let
too much
us
money.
collapse an economy. I mean, come on.
Very small collapsing economies, like just from villages and stuff.
Why would we stop at villages? We've got a big airship. We just, go to the cities.
That's true.
Get what we need from there. And besides, collapsing, giving people bunches of gold is not evil.
Hey, Fang,
Yes.
what kind of kobold are you turning out to be? With Sully's mothership horse.
As far as personality and all that goes,
Mm-hmm.
he's very. He likes to be, very independent, but he's also very protective of his mother.
Mm-hmm.
Good boy.
He's very curious, but he's also smart too.
He definitely
And
didn't
I
get
would-
that from his dad.
Oh no, but he still likes to chew on rocks for some strange reason. They're very tasty and cold.
Salt like rocks.
Yeah, like salt
You
licks.
are close to the ocean.
Mm-hmm. Always finds them climb. He likes to climb on things. But he always likes to offer to help. but he also wants to be left alone at the same time. Like, he's independent, but he's willing to help. If that's kind of, like, makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
I would say he's also probably musically inclined.
That's my boy.
So, as you are... as you are kind of exploring, as you do, you eventually, in your kind of shared family room, Sully, you've kind of placed. Unacceptable! You stop that?
Please, we're having a moment.
That one wasn't me.
Yeah.
Tales of our endeavors proliferate.
You come across and it's kind of sitting on the very top of a dresser. Fairly clean looking. The top of the dresser has been dusted recently. However, you see that it's a kind of creepy looking stuffed doll. You've never seen it before. You would have probably seen it before. Occasionally you see Sully kind of bring it out of a bag before she heads into the family room before bedtime or before baths and stuff like that. But you never actually seen it up close. You kind of climb up the nearby dresser and stand on top of it and kind of reach up to the very top of the wardrobe and kind of grab it. You're holding on to it, and you hear, almost as if right behind you, but also emanating from the doll itself. It says,
You want some candy?
No, it says, I see you've grown up to be a respectable young kobold. Perhaps in time we'll see if you can follow in your father's footsteps.
Fades to black. Catchy pop music starts.
And
Roundabout plays.
it's almost as if, Fang, it's almost as if you blink very hard, and all of a sudden the doll is gone from your hands. You have no idea where it went.
He's just gonna, like, look around, like, look at the ceiling, and then if Sully were to walk in, he's behind the dresser with, like, just a little bit of tail poking up, wiggling, thinking it went under behind the dresser as he's, like, splatted like a cat.
Bang! Is there a rat back there? Get it. Get it.
There was a doll that was here, and now it's not. I think it fell behind here. It's just kind of scurrying behind the dresser.
Do your best. I'll tell you about it later.
As he pokes his head out from under, like upside down under the dresser, he's gonna go, what was Dad like?
Your dad was a very wild man, say.
He was a man of broken words.
Not many words, not very well spoken, but every word meant something. He was also very proficient with body language. He could give a thumbs up with his tail alone.
He
Also, well, I already said violent, but those teeth passed down from your father. He ripped them out of the things he killed.
Dad sounds awesome.
He was very cool.
Fang is gonna try to scurry back under and still look, but you can see he's gonna try hopelessly to try to make a tail thumbs up. he may get it. Just like a tiny little thumbs up.
Hey, Sully,
Yes.
did you ever take Fang to see the statue in the treasure gallery?
But of course.
There's a because for like Rok-Rok's equipment, I wanted to make a statue of him, to put like his armor and his axe in.
Ah.
And of course, there would be a coffin nearby for that statue.
Oh well, no, that's the mausoleum.
Yeah.
I think Fang would probably on multiple occasions try to lift that axe and would not be able to budge it. Because it was an adamantium axe, so it's like twice the weight. Along with the 140-pound armor.
Kinda heavy.
It had a little bit of weight to it.
Just a bit. Just a bit. Just...
So hey, Dova,
Yeah?
how are my studies going?
Fairly well. What are you studying?
Extra dimensions and golem crafting.
Yeah?
Yeah. Other conjuration magic too.
Mhm. You feel like you have a very, and it kind of comes to you all at once, but everything seems to click, and the boundaries between dimensions are a lot more soft now. And you feel that you've got a pretty decent understanding of how this all works and sort of where everything is in relation to each other.
So, for some reason, I just imagine like Kobold's getting so good at traveling between dimensions, he trips and then falls into heaven by accident. He's like, "Oh man, not again!" and then go.
Well, I was about to say you're just sitting there looking at this.
No, and then plane shifts back.
Beautiful minded. There's like
I hate when that happens.
I see.
I see everything.
Fucking hell.
Alright, yep, that's canon
With
now.
with Iastal kind of patrolling the area and making sure the trade deals go right, everything stabilizes. And over the next 2 years, you all kind of settle into your new lives. Kind of getting to the pinnacle of your own personal craft and trying to become well loved. Eric's, you're doing a pretty good job, but of course, with leadership, there are some things that just people hate. But otherwise, you feel like you're doing a pretty good job because there's no revolutions so far. So that's good. And about 2 years later, one evening, you see on the horizon a small boat. And as it comes closer and closer, you realize it's one of the longboats from the airship that you gave to Iastal. And on it are a few members of the crew and the device that was able to recall it.
Ooh.
The members of the crew seem fairly roughed up. Very clearly, they'd been the ones who remained loyal to you. But it seems that Iastal was charismatic enough to turn quite a few of them over to her side. And as you are...
Raku wants to try turning him back.
Just send them back.
Go away. We have no room for you here.
Alright, let's see here.
Someone's,
You have
someone's
failed.
friggin' questing right now.
You failed. We don't want you anymore. We have no room for losers.
We want to go live with Mom.
Eric's would not let anyone turn them away.
All right, you start to bring them ashore. And as you guys are walking up the beach, the crewmen especially looking dejected and just feeling awful. A couple of them dragging the boat with the rather expensive arcane device inside. It was clearly like torn from the insides of the ship, as there's a few kind of wires and various conduits still attached to it, but just kind of hanging loosely. And as you're kind of walking up the beach, you hear something that doesn't sound quite like a wave, but something water, kind of just offshore. You guys, because I'm assuming this would have drawn people. As you guys kind of look where the sound was, you see a barnacle-encrusted, jeweled head that is just thrumming with arcane energy. As Jason himself slowly emerges from the water,
Here he is.
finally arriving after a full 3 years in transit. As he was literally transported to the other side of the world. And as you guys kind of look at him approaching his that gigantic like buster sword drawn, you guys almost tiredly reluctantly retrieve your weapons, just kind of thinking, oh, here we go again, and rush out to meet him on the sand.
Well, I'm not using weapons. I'm just an actual direction.
Oh yeah, you are the weapon. But anyways, I think that's pretty good. I think we kind of went over everything we needed to.
Yes.
Yeah.
Istall has returned to her own ways.
Wait, you forgot something.
What?
What's the golem's new name and what's she like?
So, and I had her written down. She has actually renamed herself Lotus.
I like it. I like it a lot.
And she's quite a bit softer than Istall. Metaphorically, not literally.
Istall, hardest metal known to man.
And Lotus is kind of a very inquisitive person. She's also taken strides towards the druidic magics, which, Eric's, I'm assuming you would be very pleased to share your knowledge.
Happily.
I just
Finally.
She's like, okay, so he's using druidcraft to make a flower bloom, and she's like, hey, can you teach me to do that? He's just like,
I just kind of, I was thinking that like the half spawn or split of a pirate would come back and be like, salutations, friends. May I teach you about the healing ways? And it turns out to be a cleric. Just trying to peddle some religion to us.
That's perfect.
Here, I just want to show you this real quick. I'm a real fan.
I have seen that a
You've seen
multitude
it?
of times now.
Okay.
Yeah, you've posted that a few times now.
Really?
Yes.
Yep.
I believe you.
Yeah, I've seen it. You've shared
Yeah,
it.
you posted it.
I've yet to actually watch it, but you shared it.
Oh my
It's like-
goodness, watch it.
It's like 2 seconds.
I can't
actually
while we're
3 seconds.
streaming.
Alright, fair, but
Come on, bring in the stream. It'll be fun. Fun
Yeah.
for the whole family.
for the whole family. Did I post it? Where did I
Yeah.
post it? Oh, I posted in the Eberron channel.
Shh.
Spoilers.
Spoiling stuff.
Oh,
I've kind of been spoiling it all week, so it's fine.
Oh, well. Well, we're about to do session 0 soon anyway, so.
Shh. They don't know yet.
Yes, they do.
No.
Yes.
Shh.
Zim literally mentioned it earlier.
They're not supposed to know.
Okay.
Alright, well, I suppose I'll play it. If it loads.
Well, he's got me now. Or does he?
Okay.
it's about the reaction I expected.
Alright, everyone. Well,
With much sadness, I will eventually, officially call this campaign concluded.
Yes, as we battle with the Jason Voorhees armor.
yes.
Again.
Finally kill him.
Hey, Dova.
Yeah?
I was thinking, maybe I shouldn't.
Put him in a demiplane?
I was gonna think just
Oh, no!
you can cast plane shift on other people.
No,
Really?
guys. Rok-Rok
Just
figured
come
out
back.
how to kill him, but never told anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we all knew at this point.
We
Wait,
just
we
never. Yeah.
Yeah.
What was it?
Not
I don't know.
rations.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
It's not
See,
He eats.
I
He
thought
eats
that's-
metal.
Man, I thought that was what it was, but I'd never I was like, it can't be that easy. It just
That's-
can't.
Why do you think Rok-Rok picked up him lashes when they fought Igersell the first time?
I have no idea.
Hey,
Anyways.
yep.
Everyone, thank you all so much for joining us on these 2.5 or so years of Rooms and Reptiles, Dungeons and Dragons. It is at this time that our chapter comes to an end, but a new campaign will be starting February 5th, so do be here for that. Thank you all again so much for joining us. All of the players will be sticking around. We're just going to be doing a new campaign with new characters.
Yep. Doing a session
be-
0.
We're gonna be starting in about 5 minutes here, so yeah,
Yep,
take a break.
We'll start the new campaign a little bit.
Yep.
We will do session 0 of the new campaign, character creation, for those not familiar with D&D and what that means. So do stick around in the chat here. We will be back in just a few minutes. I'm not going to bother with a timer for this, so we're just going to start right up in a few minutes.
We are streaming it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are
Okay.
streaming it, yes.
Oh yeah, you weren't there for that. Yeah, we decided to stream it. So what we're probably gonna do is session 0 today, and then we might take off for a week, and then the week after that we're gonna start.
I guess it depends on when Mary gets the group pick done. But
Yeah, if she gets a week earlier done, we can start next week.
anyways, hit that follow button, subscribe to the channel if you can. Check out our Patreon, Discord, Twitter, all those places.
Cast Finger of Death on that little bell.
Can we smash that like button?
Power word, kill it.
Power word, kill it.
Power word, kill the like button,
And
guys.
nuke that power, nuke
That's
that
how-
subscribe button.
Isn't that what took out Rok-Rok the first time?
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, but not for very long.
He came back.
He got better.
It got
Yeah,
better.
It got better.
Well, don't worry, everyone. I'm not going anywhere.
Oh, it's a
God.
crazy mouse again.
Has
Thank
anyone
you
seen
all. Thank you all again, and I bid you all adieu.
Oh, ding ding.
Don't say it.
He has to.
Say it.
See you in a bit. Ho ho.
Shit.